Everybody, it's Carol Billing. Let's take a quick look at the syllabus and course calendar. This first part has some good information on how to reach me. And if you have any questions, email's good, and Voxer is great. If you use have a smartphone and you add Voxer on there, I have Voxer or Viber. I prefer to use Voxer because I always am looking there for students. That I don't really have any students that use Viber to contact me. Okay, continuing down, you can read all of this totally fascinating information. Our course semester is the first, January 16th through the 7th. We end on Monday of finals week. That's when you submit your work in. Here we go with the course objectives and outcomes, and I talk a little bit about the ABE. Grading's pretty straightforward. Probably one thing that's unique is that once a grade is in Blackboard, you have 2 weeks to let me know if there's any problems or errors or questions. And then after a grade has been in Blackboard for 2 weeks, it's final, and I'm not going to go back and change it. And that just helps keep us all going forward in the semester. I have a late policy. If you need that, be sure to read it here. There's steps. It's kind of comprehensive. It's really better to just work a week ahead. That way, if you have something going on, you get sick or something, you won't have to be late. The quizzes and content in the course are based on these books, Those Who Can Teach, and there's a couple different versions. These are 2 of them. Newer is fine. The content is not so specific that it's on a specific page or what have you. The books are really, really similar. So I would say try to find an inexpensive one that you can rent online, digital version. I think that would be the way I'd go to save money, and it's the best use. And then you can read through the rest of the stuff. Probably the most important due dates are assignments are due Mondays at 5, which is a little bit different. And I do that on purpose because I grade Monday nights. So you have to have the work in by 5, and then I hopefully will spend the evening grading it. Can't always don't always make that, but I try to. That is my CWI grading time. If you want, you can make your own deadlines the Sunday before at midnight. So you know Sunday night before I go to bed, whatever's due on Monday, I have done. And that's a smart way to go, because if you have a problem, you have Monday to fix it. And you're not trying to fix it at 4 p.m. on Monday, which is bad. And I always have students in crisis at 4:58 on Mondays, and I hate that, because I'm like, oh gosh, if you just do it Sunday night before you go to bed, then you won't be in this crisis, and I just don't like crisis. So there you go. All of this information is fairly straightforward. You can read through that, but the main points are really to let me know if you see a grade discrepancy. Check your grades every week. Contact me frequently using any of the ways listed, and I forgot, lost my train of thought there. It's all there. We just went through it. Okay, let's look at the calendar, which is far more interesting. All right, so I try to put the calendar together so that it is simple. You have the week here and the date the week starts, the chapter that we're going to be focusing on, and then each one of these check boxes is an assignment that's going to be due. And it's going to be due on the 22nd, which is a Monday at 5 o'clock. And some of them says review ABE on my Weebly. That means you go there and you read the page on the autobiographical essay. So there's nothing to turn in there. It's just reminding you, go read this and see what's coming. Okay. So here you're going to go to Flipgrid. You're going to do your video introduction and comment on a couple of your classmates. You'll do a wiki, shapes wiki, expectations wiki, and a journal on intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and a quiz. I would do the reading of the chapter first before doing any of the coursework. I might even do reading the chapter, the quiz, and then start the coursework, because the quiz is going to highlight the most important aspects of the chapter, the content. And then you have the deadline due. So everything is due every week. Kind of methodical, but I do that on purpose to keep you sort of in a rhythm, and you start to have set up your week knowing what you're going to be working on, and that everything's going to be due Mondays at 5. You can see the first ABE is due pretty early. It's not terribly hard academically. You know what? Let me take these non-printing characters off so it looks a little cleaner there. Okay, you have ABE1 due pretty early, and then I have a week or so to get it back to you, and then you have a week to add the second part and changes and give it back to me. Again, so I try to say 2 weeks between the second and the third, and then it kind of goes pretty fast because it's usually pretty clean by this point, and I can get those in and out. I also only have this one section, so I don't have 7,000 million students. I just have you guys, so it's so nice. All right, let me know if you have questions on the assignments. They're in Blackboard, except the Flipgrid. I'm trying to think, that's all. Everything else is in Blackboard. And you'll go to my Weebly as if you were coming to class. You'll go there to get the content. The course is, I think, more intense, weeks like 3, 4 through spring break. And then it gets a little lighter afterwards because you get your final ABE about done. In fact, I would shoot to submit it before spring break, even though that's early. It's nice to have it done. And then after spring break, you're just finishing up some chapters and finishing up shooting and uploading your teaching presentation. And to be honest, I'm kind of an overachiever, but I'd probably have my, let's see, when are you putting your draft in? Your draft is here on the 12th. I'm just thinking I have to go to a conference on the 20-something. So I will probably, I would love to do it early. I will try to get feedback on your drafts early in March so that if you want to shoot it and upload it before spring break, then you just come back from spring break and you've got a couple of assignments and then responding to your watching videos of your peers, watching their teacher presentations and doing their activities or whatever. And then that's it. So in the last couple weeks can be pretty light for you. So that's very doable. I highly recommend it because the end of the semester gets a little chaotic. Okay, I do have a shading system. Light green means the assignments are set. They're ready to go. You may work ahead. I would recommend working at least a week ahead in case you get sick. The next darker green will, I'll change it whenever they're due. I just grab the whole block and then I change it to the next green down. It would look like that. Okay, not that. Oh, look, it did it just right there. That's awesome. All right, I'll fix that later. Anyway, I grab it, make it a little darker, and that way you know what's been due. So those assignments are past due. And then the third or darkest means I've graded it. So if you are waiting for feedback on ABE3, for example, and you see that I'm still grading up here, then you know I'm not quite ready. However, if I've graded all the way through that, and let's say I've graded this whole section, and you come and you see, let's see if this one will work. Nope, just right there on the darkness. Okay, I wonder what I've done wrong on this. That's funny. Okay. Anyway, the whole thing will be a dark green and you didn't get comments on your ABE3, then you can shoot me an email so I can take a look and see what happened. So that's kind of a nice way of knowing if your paper got missed or you think you uploaded something and I didn't see anything in the system. So we should be able to communicate through this document. Kind of nice. I would recommend printing this and then using, checking these off in a hard copy, and then you're done with that. And I actually do that when I'm grading. So I'll print this and then I'll check these off as I grade them. And then I actually do like a cross. So then I know I'm done with that week. And I try not to be more than a week behind in my grading. No promises, but we all have to have a dream. Okay, enough sarcasm and banter for one night. I'm looking forward to the class, and let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you online.